That whole music is so fire. I'm over here.
I was getting my groove on too, girl. Hey, 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 hey.
So, welcome, y'all. We are on the Loyalty and Friends Self Love Podcast. Y'all know we do this typically on Fridays. Today is a special edition, and I brought a co-host this time because I thought it would be interesting to spice it up on part two. So, if you missed part one, hey, I will tell you go back and watch it. You know, it was like a soft introduction, but it's getting juicy on this one because there's some things I would like to discuss. I know T got some good questions. She always got good questions.
Hey, y'all. Hey.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this. So what I want to do is, T, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself first, and then we can just dive into it. So I can let you start with questions. I got one question. A situation I would like us to discuss on camera, and I think it'll be important, and it's very deep. So I do want to kind of throw that
Yes.
disclosure out there, but I feel like transparency is the best way. You know, let's speak about it. They can see how we got through this trying time, and yeah, so we can inspire others. So it's on you, Queen.
Well, the first thing that I want to say is transparency is freedom. Okay. So, for all the time that you've known me, you already know my saying, I keep it 100. And
One
that's
zero
just the best way to
zero.
do it. Because, if you go ahead and be transparent about your life and do the work in your life, you ain't got to worry about anything or what nobody else got to say, even though we shouldn't be anyway. But what I'm saying is, can't nobody speak your truth but you. But my name is Tea Time with T, aka Taliba. Actually, I did that wrong, y'all. My name is Taliba, okay, aka Tea Time with T, and I am your girl. I'm avid gardener, avid mother, wife. I'm a podcaster. I do all of it, so I'm just very blessed to be able to share this space with you and Masha. Hey, Masha, girl, I ain't seen you in a minute. But I think that this is very important. Like mother-daughter relationships, mother-daughter conversations. My daughter's birthday is today, actually. She turns 27
Oh,
today on the 27th, so it's her golden birthday. So, this is really important to me
oh
and
my
very
God.
special to me. So, before we even
Speaking
get
of God
started,
works OT, I just want to say that because it's always crazy stuff like that happen. How would we know this was your daughter's birthday? And we doing a mother daughter,
I know, isn't that
mostly your true
okay?
daughter. So, man, that is God. I just thank Him because
That's
truth be
crazy.
told, my guest counsel, but me personally, it's like, hey, you got to stay ready. So
You
I'm
keep
like,
it
hey, you
moving.
want to come on
Yep.
and let's do this podcast? And I'm like, wow, and look at what it birthed into. So this is beautiful. I'm happy.
I am too. Like I said, when it comes to our kids and relationships, that's a very, very important conversation because I'm just learning.
Hmm.
And sometimes I'm a little naive in this area, but I'm just learning that every child and parent don't have that relationship with their parent. So I'm thinking in the world that I come from with my two children, because we do, that everybody else does as well. You know what I'm saying? So before we even get started in any questions, topics, or anything, I would love for you both to introduce yourselves. I mean, I know y'all and I love y'all, but introduce yourselves, and just pretty much set the standard for what the people gonna see today.
Absolutely. So I started because I know my baby. She probably a little nervous, but we're gonna get all the nerves out of her today. It's good. She with family, so I want her to just relax and just look at it like a conversation. But as y'all know, this is your girl Loyalty, and man, I wear so many hats, y'all. Okay, so of course y'all know I am the main host of this podcast, Loyalty and Friends Self Love Podcast. But also I have a book, and man, LP just made me smile so hard when we first caught on here. So y'all, LP is my behind the scenes. That's my right hand when it comes to doing the podcast here. So I
Hey,
salute
hey, hey,
you.
LP,
Thank you,
LP.
LP. He has purchased the book, y'all. So I'm telling you, go copy you a copy of this book. It will change your life. It is a great guide, a great tool. You need it in your library, and it's called Loyalty and Everything, a guide to building strong relationships in business and life. And the reason relationships fail a lot of times is the lack of loyalty. And where does a lack of loyalty come from? A lack of communication.
I was
So
just gonna say, but I had
we
to
gotta
let
get
you
to the
say that,
basics, right,
girl.
sister? We
Okay.
gotta get to the basics. And the last thing, y'all, I just started the nonprofit organization, so LIE Foundation is in full effect. If you don't know what LIE, of course, you know if you spell it out regular, it's just lie. Okay, but we're gonna change that, and we changing life to loyalty in everything. Okay, it's the total opposite. And that's what we want to restore back into our community. So I'm very excited about this opportunity. Speaking of that, T, we really about to be talking offline because I got some work for you, sister. The same thing you just did for Kitty. I see Kitty. We about to head on to Atlanta, okay? So let's get ready. Let's get the gears
Well, to God be the
going.
glory, because you're speaking to your sis.
I know I
You just
am,
don't
sister.
know.
So, yes, indeed. So you know y'all part of my plans always. You know the community that we built. Y'all are always part of everything that I do, and that's part of the build. You know what I'm saying? There's no I in team, so it takes us all to do it. So that's enough about me. I want her to introduce herself.
Well, I'm Tamasha, Loyalty's daughter. Aspiring to be a traveling CNA, and I also do pole dance classes. So you can touch bases with me on my Instagram, karma.sage, KARMAAA.SHGE. I mean, SAGE.
SAG. We
Sorry.
got you.
Good child. So yes, you can touch bases on my Instagram. And I do a lot of pole classes to, get women feeling sexy, or maybe you just want to do it for
Okay.
fitness purposes, or maybe you just want to get a little ratchet with your friends. Whatever
That part.
your goal
That,
is, I'm here to teach you. Okay.
Yes,
So
indeed.
yes.
And listen, y'all, she's really good at it. You know, you have to have an open mind because I think a lot of times people, when they think of pole dancing, they automatically have a negative condescending that comes with that. But it's not about stripping, okay? It's an art, it's exercise, it's great exercise. And when you think about gymnastics, okay, this is some of the things that they have to build their upper core strength, okay?
Right.
So I want you all to really have an open mind when you think about it because some people would be like, ooh, pole dancing. I don't think like that, okay? And because she does have a craft at what she do, why not hone in on that and teach it to the world and also be able to create revenue from it? So this is a business adventure for her, and I'm gonna help her get there. So,
well, I'm gonna tell you one thing. You ain't never lied, because pole dancing is definitely a workout. Okay, so for those out there that do or may feel that it's just the erotic or provocative, and all, no. Have you ever seen someone that actually pole dance? Do you see their physiques? Do you see their
right.
arms? Do you see their legs? Do you see the core? Because let me tell you something. Okay, I actually had one good class. Look, Masha, I had one
One,
good
we're gonna give
class.
you a couple more and go put it on
And
Wendy.
it took me out. So yes, that is beautiful. But we can definitely get into that later. But yeah,
Absolutely.
man, y'all better know that right there that's better than somebody what they say trying out or working out for a triathlon, because that workout right there ain't no joke. But
That
yes,
part.
to God be the glory that we are here. I think this is just beautiful that we have a mother and daughter duo.
Yes.
And really quickly, for those that were not here in the last one, I just want you, Loyalty, please, if you don't mind, to just recap. You had mentioned that, you had your daughter at a young age.
Absolutely.
There were some trials and tribulations, as we all know, that happens when we have children when we're young, because we're still children. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And if we could just go ahead and get a little introduction on that, and go from there. And then, I'll definitely get into the questions.
Yes, and I think that would segue into what I wanted to talk about, and I think you'd be interested in as well, so we can kind of bring that out through this recap. So I was
Hmm.
sharing with everyone that I had my daughter Tamasha. I had her at the age of 17. Of course, I was young, and through my trauma, because my father, of course, he was strung out on drugs majority of my life. My dad has been on drugs majority of my life. Okay. So it kind of became normal. I was used to it. So having an absent father, sometimes being younger, you don't have that proper setting for a father, what a father should look like. You get out here and you experience life in the wrong ways. And it landed me to be a teenage mom. And I don't regret it though, because I feel like God doesn't give you more than what than what he feels like you're
Absolutely.
capable to do. Is it challenging? Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and pretend and say there weren't any challenges with that, because I went right back to school. I was a high school student and I had a full-time job. And also, of course, my baby was in daycare, so I missed a lot. As a parent, I yearned to be there for my child, but I knew I had to also be a supporter and a provider for my daughter. So I knew me sacrificing that then was gonna, set us up for later. And as parents, you have to sometimes make sacrifices even when we don't want to. So, it forced me to grow up at a very young age, but I wouldn't be who I am now had I not went through that journey the way I did. So I feel like that journey was purpose for me. And me going through that, some people know and some people don't, but me and my daughter experienced something similar. When she was 16, she was pregnant with child.
Right.
And she decided she didn't want to keep the baby. So she did have an abortion. And I know different people feel however. To me, I'm
But
more.
hold on real quick. I'm not trying to intervene.
Yes.
But let her tell that when I ask them questions. You introduce who you are, and I only say that because and as a mother, I understand where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? But that's a really traumatic situation, and I know that you guys' bond is so close to where that's something that I just, if you don't mind, I mean, and I don't mean no
Okay,
disrespect
absolutely.
to either one of you all.
Yes, and in between the break, that's why I wanted to discuss with her to see, for one, was she comfortable? Because had she not been comfortable, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. And it's important because even when your children become adults, you want
Absolutely.
to protect their innocence and protect them too, and you want to keep that trust between the two of you. So I definitely agree. So we're gonna pause there. And Masha, all right, you got
Hey,
anything?
beautiful.
Maybe. Not at the moment. I'm really just ready to delve into the conversation and, really let people see what type of relationship we have. Which
Hey,
is
the mic is yours, beautiful. You talk about whatever you want to talk about, and you start wherever you want to. So I guess my question to you would be, what is your relationship with your mother? If there's anything else that you would like to share in your life, any trials, tribulations, triumphs, anything, the mic is you. You are open to speak.
Okay. Well, I would definitely say my mom is like my best friend. And it's different when your mom is your best friend because the love is always going to be unconditional.
Yes.
But the type of relationship we have, we always can talk to each other about everything. She tells me things she's going through. I'm able to tell her what I'm going through, and we kind of just help support one another. And I mean, things have been hard, of course. Everyone has their own issues. But we always came out on top with everything that we do. So I could definitely say she's my best friend.
Amen. And what's crazy is my mother I was my mother's first child. So my mother used to say that we are the, what was the word that she used to use? The trial child, or the,
Yeah, you got that child in there, kid.
right. Where you really don't know, and you doing the best with, what you have. So what I will ask, since, my beautiful sis, definitely segued into that. If it is comfortable for you, do you mind speaking on, the child and, your decision and,
No, I
what
don't
you.
mind at all. So I was actually, I believe I was a junior at the time, or I was a sophomore moving into my junior year. At the time I had a boyfriend, and we were using protection and things of that sort, but he actually was trying to trap me. I guess he liked the way things were going. He didn't want me to go anywhere, but that was probably the biggest mistake he could have made, because that's exactly what made me leave. But yeah, when I first talked to him about it, he did admit to trying to trap me. And I asked him, I was like, well, I thought we were using protection, but I wasn't on birth control or anything at the time because my mom wasn't aware of me being sexually active. So when I did find out, it was hard for me to tell her. And he actually was the one to call her and tell her.
Really?
And that made me, so upset because
Wow.
I explained to him that that day I planned on telling her myself. So I didn't appreciate that at all
Yeah,
because for something like that, it should have been me to tell my mom what was going on. I
it's not.
shouldn't have been getting a call from her and she's crying and asking me like, "Is it true? Like, is this really what's going on?" But despite her feelings about everything, although she's, I'm sure she was a little
Mhm.
disappointed, not even at the situation necessarily, but because she felt like I should have been able to come to her
You
sooner.
should have been the first one.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, but she supported me through everything. We actually went out and sat down and we talked. We had something to eat. She was letting me know like she wasn't upset at me necessarily. She just wanted to know what I would like to do about the situation. So I did, decide to not have it. Not only because I was in school and my school was Catholic, very,
Hmm.
um, I don't know, I would say
Very
the wrong,
strict.
I
yeah,
was just gonna say
very
straight. You're right.
it was a Catholic
It
school,
was a
so
Catholic school, yeah.
and it's been those type of scandals. I don't know why it's
Right.
always considered a scandal when a young woman becomes pregnant and they're in school, but it was already a couple of those that had happened at the
Situations.
school. So
Mhm.
Or they
I
would have
didn't want
tried
to
to
be
make you
another
a
one.
statistic. Oh, because she's
Yeah,
black and she
right.
young. I get it. I get it.
The whole
So
nine.
I wasn't really
Right.
trying to deal with that. Like I just thought about everything, and to truth be told, I was not ready to have a child. I wasn't, and I was
That's
under the
honest.
impression that we were using protection. So I
Hmm.
wasn't expecting that to happen, of course. But all throughout the whole process, she supported me from the beginning to the end. She kept asking me, like, "Are you sure you don't have to get rid of it? I can help you take care of it. We can figure this out together." But I was really adamant, like, "No, this is not what I want. This is not who I want to be the father of my child if I were to have one." Um, I already saw signs of mental instability in him, so that was already a red flag for me. He actually had put his hands on me while I was pregnant as well,
I didn't know
um,
that.
because I was trying to
I was
leave.
just gonna ask, Mom, did you know? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Okay.
nah, because if she knew, I already know my
This
mom.
would be a whole different
So,
conversation, but we're
right.
gonna stick to the one we have.
So yeah, I was trying to leave because
Yeah.
I had found out and I just really needed my space, but he really wasn't trying to let me leave. He was just trying to like hold me and keep me from going out the door, standing in front of the door. And he had actually like, well, I wouldn't say he hit on me necessarily, but he definitely like shoved me a lot. He was pushing me back, and as
That's
a
enough.
man being forceful, it definitely was painful. Period.
Yeah.
And I'm in my head, I'm thinking, I'm pregnant with your child, and this is how you pushing me around. No, I can't do that.
Right.
So we actually ended up getting into a physical altercation. I didn't let him just hit me. I did hit him back. I will say I did probably a lot more damage than he did, but
But
um,
yeah.
it was
It was
wrong.
warranted.
So yeah, but I definitely appreciate her for supporting me through that whole situation. I don't really know how my life would have been if she was one of those parents that was like, "No, you have to have it," handle your responsibilities, or if she was one of the types to, basically disown me for my choices. She understood, especially with her own background where she was a young mom. She definitely understood. So I really appreciate her for that, honestly.
And I would just have to say, for one, thank you so much, my beautiful Masha, for sharing that story, because a lot of people are not able to be as transparent and like really dig deep into what happens. Things happen. This is real life. There's no cookie cutter life, and the other thing that I wanted to say is having that supportive mother
Mhm.
or parent. I don't want to make this a gender specific situation, but we're talking about mother and daughters right now. Having that relationship is so important, because honestly, the reason why my daughter and I have such a good relationship is, Mom, I love you if you watch the replay. However, I wasn't able to talk to my mother about certain things. I wasn't able to be free. Now she did support me, and everything, but it wasn't like you were just speaking on how you came to your mom and you was like, this is a situation and what we're gonna do. You know, it wasn't until I got pregnant with my daughter to where she was like, okay, what we gonna do? But she told me, look, if you're gonna still deal with the dude, then you got to find your own place. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like a supportive thing, you
To
know?
what you were saying, that was kind of my experience. So even though I
Yeah,
did have my daughter, and I don't blame my mom now, because you got to realize it was a different time, it was a different era, and parenting was
exactly.
different then. So it's like you got to kind of compartmentalize things so you can really
Yep.
understand it. So I remember when I found out I was pregnant, I was scared for one. I was
Yes.
young. I was on birth control, but I had missed my shot, so I was late getting my shot.
Yeah.
But I wasn't using protection, so I could be honest about that. And I got pregnant, and so my mom was not my first person. She was not my go-to, because she put the fear of God in me. Okay, so I was scared to tell her. So I didn't tell her. I actually told James, which was he was a valuable part of my life, me and my siblings' life, because he was an ex-boyfriend of my mom's, but he treated us golden. He treated us all like
Nice.
he was his kids, even though we weren't. And because I didn't have my father, he was a great substitute for sure, and was a valuable part. And I remember telling him, he was so supportive, and told me he didn't care he was kind of the way I was, how I would be for my daughter. And when I told my mama, she was like, that's gonna be the worst mistake of your life. And I'm like,
Oh,
what? A child, this is a person,
right.
those words still stuck with me. I know she probably didn't mean it in the manner she did, and when she came, her heart softened. But the way it made me feel was different. Mind you,
Mhm.
I was further along in my pregnancy. By the time I went for my second visit, girl, I was almost 5 months pregnant. They getting ready to tell me what the sex of my child is. So it was like I didn't really have a lot of time to process it.
Right.
And I was little, so I didn't know that I was pregnant. So 4 months later, I'm having a whole child. I
Right.
didn't have a lot of prep time, and I had a lot of plans prior to then, but those plans just didn't stop. And that was my message: like, just because you have a kid, it don't have to stop you from anything. I went to high school, finished. I got a bachelor's in social working. Okay, technically I got an associate's degree in business. Then my bachelor's is in social working, which is human relations. And
Mhm.
I've been in my house for 16 years. I own my house. Okay.
Amen.
I did all this with children. I had all my kids when I moved in my house. I was 22 years old. I've been in my same house. So
Mhm.
anything is possible. Now, what did disturb me, I know we coming to an end, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask you all if y'all want to join us. We're gonna further this conversation. We're gonna
Yes.
Q&A session on Clubhouse. Download Clubhouse if you don't have it. Come in the Loyalty and Friends house. You don't want to miss this, because we're gonna go. I think this is good
This
conversation.
is a great conversation. This is
And to leave it,
needed.
imagine this.
It's
Imagine getting a
needed.
call on your job. I'm at work, okay? I'm in a work environment. You can't have your phones and stuff on the work floor, the type of environment I worked on. So I go on my break. I go in there and I check my phone on break every time. So I check, just so happened I answer the phone. He's calling my phone, the boy. And he was like, hey, how you doing? I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. But I got your daughter pregnant. I got 3 daughters. So
Wait,
first,
wait,
my
right,
first,
wait,
my
what?
first question, I said, who for what? Who for what? Man, who the F is this? Who
Right.
am I lying? You said about who daughter you got pregnant for? Maybe you got the wrong number, okay? Because I don't know. You got your rabbit mind calling my
And
phone
that's
like
not
that,
how you come at
and that's
somebody's
not how you
mother.
telling me. So then I said, well,
Exactly.
what? I said, who is this? Because now I'm frustrated. People watching me, because I don't even know how to respond to
Right.
with the news I'm hearing. So then he was like, I got your daughter pregnant. I said, who you talking about? Some Marsha. I said, how you know you got my daughter pregnant? He gonna tell me I nutted in her.
What?
I could have went through that phone to leave it. Do
I
you not
almost
understand?
thought
I
we
was
was
so
on
angry.
TMZ for a minute because
And
I almost
I had
started
my
acting a
meltdown
whole
at work.
fool.
I'm telling you, I
Wait,
had a
what?
whole yes, I had such a meltdown at work. It was just an out of body experience. I wasn't expecting it. They had to take me to HR. They had to remove me from the floor from work, and I had to collect myself. And then once I calmed down, I called my daughter at school because I needed to talk to her. I don't want to hear nothing that nobody else got to
First
talk
of all, I need to make sure my daughter is safe because this might be somebody that got her kidnapped or something. The way he talking.
to. So, girl, I don't call the school number, okay? I told them to bring her to the office. I need to talk to my child right now. Take her out of class. She need to come talk to her mama. So I just asked her, I'm like, Marsha, is it true? And her silence told me enough. I
Yeah.
knew. And I was like, you know what? I calmed down. I was like, it's okay. I said, I'm about to come get you from school.
Right now.
Let's sit down and talk.
Yeah.
I took my baby out to eat. We went. I made sure she was good and full. We talked about it, and I really wanted to keep pouring to her. I wish my mom would have did that for me.
Come
And I
on.
think that changed the dynamics. Crazy part is while we was traveling, I seen a van. Let me say how God works. It was I ain't gonna say it was God because I don't want to put that on him, but it was just coincidence. Okay, so let me rephrase my words. All right, because you know, I'm just gonna say that.
Let's
But
keep it real.
just so
Right.
happened, there was a mobile van. It was an ultrasound van where they do ultrasounds and stuff, and it was right by where we went to go eat. So I called. I got the number where I was passing. I called them, and I was able to get an appointment same day, so we can get an ultrasound and see how far along she was and everything right on the spot. And of course, you know, they wanted to talk to her, see what her mind was, and see what she was thinking, as far as what way was she pro-choice, whatever the case, you know. And but that was valuable that we was able to do that. And I think that changed our whole dynamic. She knew then it's nothing in this world you shouldn't be able to tell your mama. If you can tell me that you're pregnant, what else can you not tell me? I already know you having sex. So at this point, I need you to entrust your whole everything.
Everything.
I'm gonna always have your back. Always. Yes. I would never not have your back. So yeah.
And that is amazing, and that is important, and especially today, in today's time. And like, I know we got to wrap up too, but
got 2 minutes now. We got to get to Clubhouse.
In today's time, we have to be, as my husband say, coaches. But as they're younger, we have to be parents. As they get older, we have to be coaches, and we have to make an atmosphere for them to feel comfortable. So yes, we will be on Clubhouse. We're going to do this thing again. I just want to thank you guys so much for allowing me to host, to be a co-host. Let me say that, and interview and ask those questions, because you know I had them questions. I had some questions.
I already knew.
You know, I love you, Masha. So good to see you. I ain't seen you. Shoot, how long? I don't even know how long it's been.
Since
but
Vegas.
I know. I was gonna say since Vegas. Yes. So we'll see y'all in a minute. Love y'all.
Thank y'all. Love y'all. Come to Clubhouse, 8 p.m. We're getting ready to start. All right. Lloyd's and Friends house. Later. Bye.